My man, how are you?
I'm well.
Yeah? Where are
I'm
you at right
well.
now?
I'm in my living room in Seattle.
Oh, well, I am in Ventura, California.
Ah, let me guess, 72 and sunny.
No, 73 and sunny, but you were almost there. Yeah.
Uh,
Let me guess. 61 and cloudy.
oh man, I think yes. Yeah. Yesterday was we had a few good days. Yesterday was gorgeous, but looks like we're in for a few days of the classics here.
I
Yeah.
used to live in Whidbey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was in the service for a while and I was stationed out there.
Yeah.
It was
How long
fun.
were you up there?
Um, about 8 months. So not much. I just went to school and and did some training up there.
8 months though. Yeah, you got a good taste. What time of year were you there?
I think it was from like March, February till November, middle
Yeah,
of November, the end of November.
yeah,
So it's fun.
yeah. You got to see some of it. Yeah, I get to spend a fair amount of time on Whidbey. I have relatives who live up there, and they frequently leave town and need somebody to stay at their place. So
It's like that bridge is scary, huh? I always remember the bridge.
yeah, it's a crazy bridge. Often I opt to just take the ferry
Oh
from
yeah.
from the
Yeah.
south end.
I was just like I had to take the bridge to go to Walmart, or I had to take the
Oh
bridge
yeah.
anywhere. And so I was just like, all right, let's go. I was too nervous because I was new and I didn't know about the ferry.
Yeah. When were you up there?
2004.
I wonder if it's changed. Like Oak Harbor has grown quite a bit. It seems like you may not have had to travel so far, or you wouldn't. You might not have to today for.
I think we're going up there this summer. We have family
Yeah,
up there, so we're just gonna go visit. Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the living. The living in 1982. Um,
yeah.
for me, really stood out. I love punk rock. I am a nardcore guy. Out of Oxnard with I was with all those guys. I celebrated all those guys. Ill Repute, Dr. No, Stalag, and I really studied it and I love hearing about it. And there are other stations in time where they had great scenes. And obviously, one of the scenes is the Seattle punk scene. Explain to me what was it like back then in the 80s and putting together a punk band and what was the scene like?
Uh, it was pretty small, relatively, and on any given night where something was happening, that's pretty much where everybody would be. Um, but I didn't, I came into it in basically in early '82 when I started playing with the living. I had been in Seattle for most of the year prior, I guess, but had not seen a lot of local music up to that time. And to, but then from '82 on, I saw it, and it was uh, people just we just loved to play. was kind of just about playing, basically, as much as possible. And fun, you know, it was a good-natured scene. Um, I don't really recall it being too weird or any violence or anything that maybe it's became eventually associated with scenes in other places. Maybe.
What made it so special? Because the
Kind
80s,
of naive.
like
Might have been that it was
a
a little
lot
bit.
of great punk rock music. So what made your scene so special that even to this day you hear stories of it?
Yeah. I think maybe that it was a little bit naive in some way. Real insular. You know, at that time, Seattle was still kind of an outpost. You know, it was a place you might stop for gas on the way to Alaska or something. You know,
Mhm.
just pretty innocent. I maybe most simply that would be the thing that might describe what was sort of so special about it. But it definitely, like, you know, the Living and the Silly Killers and the Fastbacks, everybody else uh, just wanted to play. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I can really describe why it still lives as a sort of unique moment.
Around that same time frame, you had New York City, and they had a pretty good punk scene. L.A., Seattle, Oxnard, and I mean, I'm sure there's more because who would have when you think back on the history of punk rock, Oxnard's not really the first place you think of.
Right.
I'm sure that there's other spots, and was it at all like a political movement?
No.
No, it was just celebrating each other and celebrating the music.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, you could find little bits of political content or sentiment in lyrics,
Mhm.
like I think "Live by the Gun," you know, the Living song, is an anti-war anthem, basically. There's a reference to Ronald Reagan in there, but it was not a political movement at all.
Was it more of an anti-establishment or uh,
Yeah, there was, you know, uh,
turning the back on the mainstream?
they just by the fact that everybody was in their late teens or early 20s something, you know, that's gonna be guaranteed to have a certain amount of that. You know, hope I die before I get old kind of thing.
Yeah, because I think I guess where I'm trying to get to is, are we at all similar to where we were, or are we similar to where we are now to where we were then, where everything was very like mainstream and everyone was trying to like there because I what I feel like is we're on the brink of another I don't give a fuck revolution type thing. And I would love to see a resurgence of punk rock. It seems now in mainstream everyone's scared to be canceled. And so
Mm.
while you have that fear looming over your head, everyone's just like, all right, I'm just gonna be good and say the right things and go along with the flow. And the punk or the rock star is sort of dying, because of the fear of being canceled and the want to be accepted. Would you, I would, or do you feel that we're on another brink of a revolution like that, where the rebirth of punk and rock stars um, to begin?
Yeah, man. I wish I I do not know, and I don't. Firstly, I'm not. I don't feel like I'm connected enough or immersed enough in what's happening now to say a lot about it. I did have a when you were at when you're asking that, I did have a moment where I thought, wow, I hope so, because then I'd have that opportunity to, how we always say, well, if I knew then what I know now, and I was just thinking, wow, if it's going to happen all over again, then here's my chance to apply, apply what I know now, followed by the little sinking realization that, wow, that's kind of an empty idea, as it turns out, because I wouldn't be that different. I would jump in with both feet maybe, but I wouldn't necessarily, I had seen that before. It would still wouldn't know what to do with it beyond the moment necessarily. But yeah, I don't. It does seem we're kind of ripe for that to happen again. And if music were, if there were a resurgence in that kind of playing where people just played, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I go straight to from there though to thinking, well, or just considering how much the state of technology has affected how music is made and heard, and not heard in terms of how people get it or consume it, but what music sounds like, or what, how it's put, which is part of how it's put together. I just recently, every once in a while, I'll turn on my local classic rock radio just to see what's going on out there. And well, I guess this would have been unclassic, because they're playing more contemporary stuff. And just immediately started complaining to my girlfriend that listen to this. It's a great song. It's actually really, this musically is cool, but it sounds like, who would have thunk that eventually they would figure out how to make music out of plastic? It just, and I guess I'm just getting at sort of maybe it's a pet peeve, this, and what I mean by talking about the technology is this ability to perfect things, and that seems to have become such a part of music making now. I don't know what it would be like for bands for some kind of new punk rock to evolve out of that.
Let's hope.
I don't know. I'm kind of rambling, but
we're good. Talk me through the living now. You had these recordings for 38 years, and you haven't released them.
Yeah,
I was born.
That's basically it.
I was born in 1982. That's so.
Oh, were you? All right.
Uh, um, so you just going through, where did you have them stored? Did you have them on
Oh,
cassette or?
John Conte had the original 8-track masters on tape. He's all this time. And this has been an ongoing thing now for some, I don't know, it could be 10 years even. Friend of the band and fan crossed paths with a couple of kids from Portland that had the idea of, or they were already doing it, I don't know, a small boutique record label, and somehow out of this encounter came this idea of a living record. And we were full steam ahead with that, and then that didn't work out. And with maybe it was a couple years later, I, through another friend of mine in Portland, got hooked up with another label in Portland, and that was happening, and everybody's excited, and then that didn't work out. And after that one, that kind of knocked me over for a bit. I just thought after that, I don't have it in me to keep pushing this thing. But then went out to lunch with Stone one day, and he asked me what I'd been up to, and among other things, I told him my tale of woe over the state of this record, and he wanted to hear it, and I sent him some files, and he loved it. And he first hooked us up with Sub Pop, and I know a lot of those guys there too, but I had not pursued anything there. But I went spend an afternoon down there, and that was all love and roses, and yeah, let's do this thing. And we were right at that time, we were coming into the holidays, so nothing was going to happen for a while, and so we were not in touch. And then in coming into the new year, we were still not in touch. They were calling me, I wasn't calling them, and shortly after, I don't remember how it came to pass, but Stone and Regan got in touch and asked what was happening, and they wanted to do it. And as it turns out, after all of that, this situation by far surpasses anything that would have happened with any of those others. It's getting the best care and attention that it could, and it's already bigger than anything I had hoped or expected from it. And that's it. That's where we are today. So it's been, John had the tapes when that first deal came up. He went and had them digitally transferred, and I got a hold of the files and mixed it. And then a series of situations that didn't work out. And now it has, finally. So it's great.
Okay, well, we're glad. I love the album. I'm a punk rock guy. That's how I started doing this, because my love for punk rock and my disdain for pop music that was on the radio at the time. And yeah, I mean, there's a time in that time period. There's just Justin Bieber and Lady Gaga. And it's like, man, come on.
And yeah,
with a just angry kid that's just trying to take over the world, wage war on pop music, I guess.
Yeah, it is. even though I'm pretty familiar with the recording, it's still there's something fresh about it, even to me, to see it finally, you know, as a record, and even the sound of it when I hear it, it's like, oh, it's kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
Wow. That's how it's like we used to do it, you know, when we played music.
Well, it's amazing. I'm glad that you have this part of history. It's like a time capsule, you know.
Yeah.
And we definitely appreciate your time. Is there anything else that you would like to add that you would like people to know about this?
Wow. I don't know. I know that this recording has long been, you know, sort of a special memento to all of us, and we all feel like it really represents a pretty great moment, you know. But of course, at the time, we had no idea what this was, but it's a great document of that time and place. It speaks a lot for itself, I think. And yeah, we're all really happy to finally see it actually turn into a record.
Well, congratulations. This is amazing, you know, to debut to the world. And you know, I think we're the ones that are lucky. So thank you so much. It was awesome. I love the album. Um, it was beautiful, and I definitely appreciate as a punk rock guy being able to have another thing to lean on.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much.
My man, take care of yourself, and we will put this together as a great article celebrating punk
Cool.
rock.
Great.
All right, my man. Have a good one, Greg.
Thanks, you too, Tim.
Bye bye.